Hello and welcome to the latest MK Web, MK Dons sports podcast. My name's Dan Palmer. I'm here with Scott Kirk. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, good. Grand National this weekend, so it should be exciting. So
all the runners and riders. That should be, it's always a great occasion in the British sporting calendar. To use a horse racing metaphor, I think maybe Dons have fallen at one of the fences in the playoff race after the defeat to Wolves on Saturday, 1-0 loss. We've been saying over the past weeks, haven't we? It's on, it's off, it's on.
Yeah.
I think now we can say definitively it's off, isn't it?
Especially with Peterborough winning, of course, last night.
Yeah.
6 points now with teams around them. It's going to be a struggle, I think, now. There's only 6 games left, of course, and against some very good teams at that as well. So
games in hand still for Posh as well.
Yeah. So it's. We could be sat here next week and saying something totally different, of course, couldn't we, if Peterborough lose at the weekend and Dons win, but, it's just looking, I think it's looking very tough again, down a couple of places in the table since we last spoke about it last week, and, you don't expect to beat the league leaders. They played very well against Wolves, I thought, Dons, in fairness, but it's never obviously going to be an easy game, and, and I just think, especially with the complete lack of players now, in terms of all the injuries, especially in the midfield, I can't see where the goals are going to come from at all. And obviously, you're going to have to score goals if we're going to reach the playoffs, and I can't see where the goals are going to come from.
Yeah, I think we mentioned last week that it was that Gillingham game that really, really disappointing. That really killed it off, and there was a chance that they could play really well against Wolves and not get anything. And I think that's what happened. I mean, they're going to win the division. They're the best team at this level by a country mile. It's ridiculous that they're even down here, really.
Totally
demonstrated by the amount of fans they brought.
Fantastic occasion.
So over nearly 9,000 from Wolves, packing out all of the bottom tier and a good portion of the top tier as well.
I'm sure if you sneaked into the home sort of area.
Yeah, I'm sure I did, and a record crowd for Dons of over 20,000 at Stadium MK, so like I said, fantastic occasion. It's just disappointing what happened on the pitch. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, to see the pit, to see the stadium, especially where the Wolves were all in one area, so to see that was, really impressive to see that sea of orange over to the left hand side there. So, So it was, it was a really good occasion to see it that full, and of course, it would be better if it would have been more Dons fans than Wolves fans, of course, but fantastic occasion. I'm sure the club will have got a few pennies out of that as well, which is the all important thing, obviously, and just to share about the result of the pitch. Really, it was very much. It was one of those where you didn't really see any goals being scored by either team. 0-0 was probably more of a fair reflection, but great header by McAlinden. I don't think it was a right lot Dons could have done about it. It was a lovely header. And then, of course, when you go 1-0 down, when you've not scored in 5 home games, the pressure cranks right up, and it just wasn't to be. So,
the Wolves goal obviously coming just after Dons went down to 10 men. Sammy Odolisi, the 2 quick yellow cards.
Which was harsh, I thought.
Did you think it was harsh?
I did, personally, yeah.
Both decisions, or just the
I think in the overall scheme of things, perhaps 1 yellow card for both tackles, if you know what I mean. I think the ref was too quick to show his yellows there. I thought maybe a warning for the first one, and then, do you know what I mean? Maybe for both challenges, the overall result as a yellow card would have probably been fair. I know it's 2 bookable offences, but I felt personally it was a bit harsh. I mean, even if it is late, you see fouls given and yellow card. You see fouls given, but yellow cards not given out. And I just felt that 2 yellow cards for what he did was extremely harsh, really. Yellow card for both incidents, maybe. But, I thought it was a bit harsh, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, even when teams are reduced to 10 men, quite often they hang on for a lot of time, and it's not the advantage it would be. Exactly, so it's disappointing that straight away we've conceded the goal.
Well, I mean, at set pieces as well, pretty much, because you can, numbers are kind of irrelevant, I think, with set pieces, aren't they? So, I don't know actually, but I think that the numbers aren't as important when it comes to set pieces. There's a number of bodies in the box, and that's it. So, they're very disappointed they couldn't hold on, because we've seen it when Dons played teams that have gone down to, well, as I said there, Peterborough went down to 9 men. I'm sure there was another team that went down to 10 men. I think it might have been Swindon or something like that, who went down to 10 and couldn't break through them. So it's a shame it's not happened in the way, really, as well. But, it's happened now, and I think there's a realisation now that with the injuries in particular, I just can't, and I just don't know where the goals are going to come from to propel Dons up into those playoffs.
Yeah, we keep getting tasters of these big occasions with the crowd. You can imagine if you go up to the Championship, then some of the teams in there, you'd be talking like almost every other fortnight. With every home game, it'd be like that. It'd be great crowds, and that's what we want at the club. That's what we want at the city.
Yeah. You think, Nottingham Forest, clubs like that, Derby, any of the teams that get relegated, QPR, the former previous record attendance was against QPR, wasn't it? Leeds will bring a few fans. Sheffield Wednesday, there's some massive clubs there, isn't there? So, I mean that's why promotion's so crucial. I mean, you can market the club however you like, but they're not going to get more fans in until we're playing at a higher level. It's simple as that. So,
and people say we're not going to get to that higher level unless more money's invested in the playing budgets. I know you mentioned the extra pennies that would have been made from this fixture.
Yeah.
I know Carl Robinson will be hoping that will be invested into the playing budget for next season.
In particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Even a couple of strikers just to give some options as well.
Well, I think you're right there. I think 2 strikers are probably what's needed. One to put the pressure on the other, and one to bang them in, because it's just vital to get a proper number 9 in. Not someone making shift. You know what I mean? Like a makeshift number 9, not a proper proven goal scorer. I think a lot of the fans are going to want that now, and I think we need one really. I think a lot of the team looks solid. I mean, the defence looks. If Jordan Spence can stay, that'll be a massive boost.
Yeah.
The back 5 looks good. When that midfield's put together again, midfield's going to look good. Carl Robinson will always sign wingers for the for the wings, and it just needs a number 9. Just needs someone to put the ball in the back of the net now, and you can see it's frustrating because you can see elements there, and it's just a matter of getting that final piece of the jigsaw, and then you kind of think, oh, here we go, Hopefully next season's not going to, you get rid of a team like a Wolves, and Brentford have been a tough team for Dons over the last few years. It looks like they might be going up. You get a Rotherham going up, or a Preston going up, or something like that, and the other teams that might potentially come down. I don't think we've got anything to fear for Yeovil, Barnsley, Charlton, Millwall. Nothing to fear. I don't think they're really. Look at the teams coming up. League Two's been very, very tight this season. So whoever goes up from, I know the top 3 are pulling away a little bit now, but Scunthorpe, Chesterfield, and Rochdale. Do we really have anything to fear from them? I'm not sure we do really. So it's going to be.
Potentially easier on paper.
On paper it's going to be easier. It never quite works like that, obviously, but on paper you'd like to think it'll be easier, and that'll give Dons a bit more of a chance.
There are, of course, a couple of teams this year who will say they've underperformed, in particular Sheffield United
and Bristol
City. So you expect them to do better.
Well, keep an eye on Coventry next season.
Coventry as well. I
think without their deduction, they'd have been in the playoffs now. They'd have been beating Peterborough to the playoffs now. So. So they're no mugs at all as well. So it's it's the table. The table doesn't lie, but in Coventry's case, it obviously does because of that -10 against them.
That brings us nicely on to Saturday's game. Coventry away, and obviously it's some things happening politically behind the scenes of their club, and they're playing at Sixfields, Northampton Town this season. So a very short trip for Dons in the end. I guess now with the playoffs gone, I think Carl said that realistically they have to win every single game now, and even that might not be enough. I guess it's just a case of not wanting the season to peter out. We don't want to slip down to 11th, 12th, or anything like that. So
absolutely.
It's going to be a tough game. They won at stadiummk, didn't they? A couple of free kicks, 3-2 win for Coventry. So it should be quite an interesting contest, and then in a strange atmosphere, I would have thought.
There could be as many Dons fans as Coventry fans there, which might be odd. Although it'd be the same as when Coventry came to Dons and they brought 7,000 odd fans, and that broke the away record at that time with Coventry fans bringing them down. It's been odd playing Coventry this season in terms of that neutral sort of atmosphere, and it's going to be interesting on Saturday. Dons are doing a lot better away from home, obviously, at the moment, so it might come as a bit of a relief to get away from Stadium MK.
The no goals in 5 is alarming, isn't it?
We've got no chance of doing anything if you can't score at home. But they scored 10 on the road in 4 and 5, so
it's strange,
very strange, and I think they might get a win on Saturday. I've been predicting Dons, they usually get it wrong, but I think they might. I can see them getting 3 points on Saturday to give us a bit of hope again. And then, have us talking next week thinking that they might be able to do it again. So
yeah, I think we said before, maybe the more space allowed when they play away, then the passing game works a bit better, and the Stadium MK teams come to keep it tight and defend, and they find it difficult to unlock the door.
And it's easier to defend, of course, where the pitch is bobbly and not in a good state. That needs to be redone.
So it's a problem we've had before, the pitch, isn't it?
I think it's probably going to be redone in the summer, and I think it's in desperate need of that, because it's just, how can you have a team that's a passing team if it's bobbling everywhere? And it's just, your home pitch is meant to be done to your advantage, and it's been Don's disadvantage for the last 5 games. So it's odd, and that pitch needs resolving, quite urgently, and I think money needs to be spent on the pitch as well. That needs to be a bowling stadium MK for the way Dons play. And it's important to have that pitch looking in pristine condition.
So it's the same old problems. We've had this before, with the pitch churning up and it being relayed.
Yeah.
And then, there's a problem having rugby games on there, and JLS concerts not helping matters. But yeah, it's happening again, and like you say, Carl wants a team to be stroking it around the deck, and if it makes it difficult to do that, then then you're making a rod for your own back, aren't you? So.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be relayed after the Women's FA Cup final, which is great. So that needs to be done as a matter of urgency over the summer.
Another bit of news at the club: Richie Barker in as Carl's assistant until the end of the season. A very interesting appointment. Recently sacked by Portsmouth, of course. Sacked by Crawley as well this season. So
it's been a rough season for him, I think.
Not been the best campaign for him, but he has got some good pedigree. Got promoted with Bury as caretaker manager of Bury in League 2, and then got the job permanently. So and now it looks like he wants to take a bit of a back seat from being a number one as a manager, and he's coming to assist Carl initially until the end of the season. What do you make of this?
I think it's good. I think you can sort of understand him wanting to take a bit of a back seat. I mean, he's come out and said to us, to the media, and to everyone how tough it was at Portsmouth. And one thing I do like about him, of course, in his playing career, he was a pretty prolific goal scorer. All my family's from Rotherham, so I used to, I like Rotherham to do well, maybe not at the expense of Don, but I was quite keen to see him do well. And I remember seeing Richie Barker. He can definitely score, which is exactly what Dons need at the moment. They need, if he can do something which is going to help, get some goals in for Dons. I think that can only be a good thing. So he's got the experience. It's a different appointment in terms of, we're used to seeing Carl alongside someone who's maybe not as young as Richie Barker. Not meaning all people old, but you look at Gary Waddock and Mick Harford and John Gorman as well. They were certainly older than Richie Barker is, that's for sure. So so it's quite interesting to see someone like Richie come in, but he's got a few years experience management now as well, and he knows what Carl made after being a manager himself. So so I think it's a good appointment, and like I said, goals are the issue at the moment. I think the defence is spot on, and they just need to build from that now. And who better to have than a proven goal scorer from his playing days. So I think it could be. I think it's a good appointment, and I think he needs that, Carl, as well. I mean, Darren Potter's been helping him out, but Darren Potter's got no experience in management at all, and I think you need. I think he's definitely going to have needed that help. And I think I think Richie Barker's going to be able to provide that. So very, very. I think it's quite an exciting prospect for the rest of the season.
Yeah, when I first saw the news announced, I thought maybe just a stopgap until the end of the season, and Barker will be looking for another job in the summer, another manager's job. But reading the MK news this week, it seems maybe he's planning on coaching for a long period of time. So potentially we could see this become a more permanent deal in the summer, depending on how it goes until the end of the season.
Something he said when he left Crawley, when that happened, he thought about coaching before he went to Portsmouth. So, it's obviously something that's been on his mind, and obviously things haven't worked out at Portsmouth. But, maybe he does stay until next season. It'll be a watch this space sort of thing, I think, won't it? But yeah, it could be there, and he seemed like a real nice bloke when we spoke to him this week. So I'll have to see how it goes, and if it leads to, if he can help resolve this goal scoring crisis, which I think is fair enough to call it that. If he can help resolve that, then that's going to be great.
Carl likes to kind of surround himself with, especially his assistants, people who he doesn't really know before, so he'll get someone challenging him and questioning him maybe, and not just a friend and a yes man. That's certainly the case with John Gorman.
I get it. I think
the same again, really. I think
they've been in close contact, but I think that Chibarka's is not one to pull away from saying something. I think Richie said, he made a few points at half time in the Wolves game, so he's obviously not afraid to get his point across, and I think that'll only bodes well for Carl. So I think you're right. I think it's good that he has a number two who can be quite vocal and who can be quite get his point across, and he's not afraid to just say, it's the manager's job. The number two's there to assist, and if he's got any points to make, then he's going to make them as well, which I think is great. If
he does stay on longer, I guess there's always the danger that the same thing could happen, like what happened with Gary Waddock. He went to become a manager, and Carl might find himself alone again on the touchline. But we'll have to see. Another bit more negative news this week was Ben Reeves' injury. He's now confirmed out for the season. Another big blow on a season of injury problems, it seems, and a small squad with no one really to come in.
Well, to me,
to replace him.
I think that's the thing that's going to stop Dons now from reaching the playoffs. He was the only real avenue, I thought, for where the goals were going to come from. It's very creative.
The outside chance is now gone as well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, he's been very, very good this season. He's so skillful, and some of the passes and the crosses and the shots he produces are just. The Stevenage goal was absolutely out of this world. So normally you look at the Dons midfield and you think Gleeson and Potter with Reeves as the number 10, and all three of them are out injured now. So I know injuries can be a bit of an excuse sometimes, but that's the spine, that's the heartbeat of the team there. When you take that out, I know Dele Alli's been superb. Alan Smith's done pretty well in that role as well, but to have all three out now makes things very, very tough, and it's going to be interesting to see who starts where. I think really, Dele Alli might be taking on that number 10 role again. We might see Matt Randall making his first start potentially. Possibility. So it's going to be interesting to see who starts where really. It's just going to be one of those.
Yeah, possibly. Perhaps with nothing to play for really now, except the league position. Maybe a few youngsters will be given their
possibly.
Chance.
I don't think the Dons will view it like that. They're 6 points. Whilst it's still mathematically possible, they're going to go for it. And if they're close to within 3 points after Saturday, you get that sort of little squeak of hope. But running out of games now, of course, and Dons won't give it up, so they won't just start youngsters. I don't think. They'll
not yet. Anyway, no.
I mean, it could be a different story by the last game or two of the season, but they'll still go for it as they rightly should, and I think they might actually pick up a win. Dons seem to perform when the pressure's maybe off a little bit, when the expectations aren't as high. And I think they might be able to get a win out on Saturday. I mean, if they don't win on Saturday, I just don't see any way at all. And if Peterborough better Dons result on Saturday, I just with 5 games remaining, I just cannot see a way back from that.
Well, let's hope for 3 points at 6 Fields. Thanks very much for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon. Cheers. Bye now.
Cheers.